that's where it started. Okay, any other questions? Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Main Street Challenge Grant application with the City of Lamar's funding $50,000 of the project from Economic Development Fund.
Is there a second? Do I hear a second? Okay.
I think we're looking to go 37.5, just like every other project.
Is there a different motion?
Well, you gotta have that one die right first before I can make another motion.
It's not.
I'm just trying to find out.
There's no second, so I think it's dead.
It's dead.
Okay, motion to approve Main Street Challenge Grant for the City of Lamar's funding 37.5 of the project from Economic Development.
Second.
Motion been made and second to approve the Main Street Challenge Grant with the City of Lamar's funding of $37.5 of the project from Economic Development Fund. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That just keeps everybody on the same
Yeah.
playing field.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to E2 on the action items at the July 6, 2021 meeting. Council approved the closure of certain streets for the Scoop the Loop event on August 25, 2021. The Tri-State Cruisers are now requesting an additional streets to be added for the event. Attached is the map reflecting the new overall request. You had a chance to look at the additional you're asking for?
I believe the reason for it, the updated request came in almost immediately after we approved the one last meeting. It was because that they've had great participation so far this year, so they're worried that they don't, not gonna have enough.
Fairway's been talked to, the Sentinel and all that. I mean, everybody's on board.
I think that original, the original rub with Fairway over the ice cream days ordeal, I think that's been smoothed over.
Okay.
And I just so everybody knows, so the Highway 3 railroad tracks, reconstruction and ponds and all that stuff is supposed to happen next year.
Next year?
Yep. Next year, so we've gotten into a habit with larger events to close the one block in front of the Sentinel, and that won't be able to happen starting next year because of what's going to happen on Highway 3 for Fairway. The driveway on Highway 3 for Fairway is going to go away, so their driveways will be on First Avenue.
Oh, okay.
So this closure of this one block over here probably won't happen from now on.
Okay.
Thanks, Jason. Any other questions?
Well, it's been growing in the last 3 or 4 times we've had it, and they had cars up and down the middle, which they couldn't get other cars out too. So I think that this is more better than everybody, even though we'll probably get another red line in a couple of weeks.
Okay, I entertain a motion.
Still time.
Motion to approve the closure of certain streets is proposed for the Scoop the Loop event for August 25th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the closure of certain streets for the Scoop the Loop event on August 25th, 2021. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3 on the action items is a request to close streets for RAGBRAI. Attached is the information regarding an additional street closure for the RAGBRAI on July 23rd, 2021. Council had previously approved closures for July 24th and 25th. The recommendation is from the administration is to approve the closures of additional, and I think you've seen the additions in there. And they were laid out, right?
Well, yeah, but Rich is gone, so if we deny it, I wonder how fast he'll come back.
Well, it probably won't be rich.
There'll be others coming down quickly.
We could have a house full in it.
So this is just, I don't know if it was overlooked the first time, maybe
I
Kevin?
think it was overlooked by the committees. They have a lot on their plate and they just didn't have the dates right, I don't think.
There's a lot of stuff to get set up ahead of time, and I don't think they realized how much space they were gonna need beforehand. So we've all looked at it.
And then been involved in it, haven't you?
Yeah, we're all,
You're okay with it?
yeah.
Motion to approve the closure of those certain streets for RAGBRAI, to include July 23rd for the other dates.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the closure of the certain streets for RAGBRAI on July 23rd, 2021. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to E4, the yield signs, the Public Safety Committee met on July 14th and discussed the traffic concerns at the intersections of 3rd Avenue Southeast and 3rd Street. The intersection is currently uncontrollable, or uncontrolled, excuse me.
You had the right word.
You want me to repeat that? Clean that up or what?
You don't want over there with us.
Yeah, I'm reading here like fast. Anyway, the recommendation is based on the standards outlined in the manual on uniform traffic control devices and accident data over the last 10 years at the intersection. The Public Safety Committee is recommending that yield signs be placed on 3rd Avenue Southeast to control north and south traffic. And we, I had to be on that safety committee, and we did have the committee, and Jason and the group dug into that pretty thorough in regard to what the rules were and how it happened. And they elected to take this route.
I am curious, do these solutions usually work?
We put a yield sign on the boulevard,
Yeah.
about halfway down 4 or 5 years ago.
We've seen a lot of improvements. We just did 4th Street and 2nd Avenue East by Mike Weiss's house.
Yep.
We were averaging a wreck there every 2 weeks. We haven't had any. And then also, you guys approved them on the Abbey North corner
Yep.
of 3rd Street and 1st Avenue. And since we've done that, we've had nothing there.
In answer to your question, Clark, I do think they're helpful.
All right, we did, okay, that is my question. So we also did 4th Avenue up there in the southeast, up by Dean Horse. Didn't we put a couple up in there somewhere? Didn't we have some, or not?
That's been a while ago.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
been some-
But it still helps.
But I'm asking, it does
Yes.
help?
Yeah.
Yes.
The only thing we had for issues on a couple of those signs was it still was where the snow got plowed.
Yeah.
So sometimes the snow, we didn't have the last couple of years, but 3 years ago, we had snow that was higher than the sign. So then it was a problem, but it was a problem everywhere in town, so.
Okay.
But I think by doing what we're doing, if nothing else, it's getting the attention of people, you know?
Did this come to public safety as a result of the community members that came to council and
Yes.
raised issues? And
This
does that
is-
leave anything else pending from their concerns?
Yeah, those crosswalks and stuff.
Sidewalk.
Yeah, that'll get done. Putting the sidewalks back,
There was more coming.
Okay.
we'll get them in sometime, I'm assuming this year yet.
And Jason, you'll notify the proper people how this passes?
Well, they'll notice it when the signs go up also.
If the signs go. They haven't voted yet.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
that vote, yeah.
Come on.
Motion to adopt resolution 2135, adding 2 yield signs, 3rd Avenue Southeast and the intersection of 3rd Street South.
Your second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adopt resolution number 2135, adding 2 yield signs on 3rd Avenue Southeast at the intersection with 3rd Street Southeast. Do we have a roll call on that, Christie?
Wait,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Goodchild,
Yes.
Don.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Point of order. It should be 2136, not 2135. Correct?
Is that the resolution?
Did we already do 2135?
On the sheet.
Because this was an ordinance.
Ordinance, I'm sorry.
No, we're good. 35 is correct.
2135, right?
Yeah.
I studied that twice yesterday.
You got it right.
It's that left side problem.
Okay, Code of Ordinance number 5 update. City staff been working on Lamar's Code of Ordinance updates for the last several months. Simmering, Corey, and Iowa Codification have been hired to assist in this process. The final draft has been completed and the summary of the proposed changes is attached. Administration is recommending, the recommendation is recommending council to set a public hearing for a month from now to allow sufficient public comment. What they didn't put in here is gonna take you a month to get all this read before the public hearing comes up, but anyways.
Still a typo.
The public hearing and the first reading is August 17th, 2021. The second reading would be September 7th, 2021. And the third reading would be September 21st, 2021. That's the program on the Code of Ordinance update as to where it's at today.
All right, so,
Jason, take over.
okay, so you guys got this thing that was put together. This is the whole thing. Okay, so this is already up front at the front desk of City Hall, and this is already up front of City Hall. Couple comments probably here. Maybe some of these of significance. 5002, which is nuisances, we better describe placement of snow and ice in right of way. Should I get to one? There is a typo somewhere too. 145, chapter 145. That has a more significant change. Issues that we've had in the past is as far as people's properties go and the upkeep of those properties. We get a complaint that, you know, a window's broken out, there's shingles off of somebody's roof, there's, why don't they paint their house, and those types of things. We've never had anything really in our code of ordinances that address those, and we've kind of pushed it off for years and years. 145.02 starts setting some standards for those things. Gives us the ability to enforce those upkeep deals.
So is that just lifted from someone else's similar ordinance?
Well, there is, I tell you what there is, Mike, there is a International Building Code does have a specific book that addresses, I don't even know what's called, property maintenance or something.
Yeah, I'd have to look myself, but yes.
Yeah, they do.
So it isn't just us throwing darts at the board, this has got.
Yeah, whether or not we went off of,
Good.
I don't know how we came up with this thing.
There's other ordinances out there fairly local that have a maintenance standards for home.
Okay.
And, what towns they were, I don't recall, but I know Jason and I did look at some other ordinances of other communities.
Spencer has one.
165.24, well, 165.23 and .24. Some wording has been added because of an issue we had last year with something being placed in an easement. So some expanded wording has been added to that. 165.24, there is a typo in what you guys have. The word "not" has been omitted in there, and that's already been corrected. In red, drainage easements shall be encumbered by building structures and fences. It should be easements shall not be encumbered. So what's up front and then what you'll get next council meeting, that will be changed. That's one of the larger changes. Another change also happens in 165.37. That also addresses people putting things in drainage easements. 167.15 gets into accessory buildings. Currently, the size of an accessory building starts at 850 square feet. That's going to be increased to 900. And then the max has always been 1250, and the max can go up to 1500. And that's all simply based on if you have enough yard space to get up that far. So, those are the larger ones. Like I said, both of these things are at the front desk. And also put it out a month before the public hearing actually happens, so that allows people, if they want to research it, get that information they can.
Okay, any questions?
This outfit that puts this together, is this a statewide?
I'm sure we're not the only ones to do it for.
We've used them in the years past in our previous codification process. They do several throughout the state, but I think the last two for sure codifications, if not three, we've used Simmering and
How
Corey.
does it come on their radar? How's items get put on their radar to look at?
Well, a lot of these things are changes at the state level.
Just legislative?
Yeah. and-
Well, yeah, that's what our
That's
broken
been
down
brought up
in
to
these.
speed with those.
Yeah, so some of these are legislative, some are model changes, which are things they're seeing being changed. I mean, so they suggest them to us, and the CC are changes.
Okay.
So the last time we did this ordinance housekeeping business was how long ago?
2015.
5 years ago.
You have three ways of keeping this up to date, and one of them is, well, each time you do it, you update it. Each time you pass a new ordinance, you update it. Or you can do them after a certain amount of time. So if you want to take 3 months worth of ordinance changes, you make the change at that time. Or the third way is you update it every 5 years as a whole. That's typically the way we've done it in the past.
So the latest and greatest stuff is we've got it packed right here.
Yeah, here.
Okay.
So our agreement with this group going forward is as we pass new ordinances, they will, one, update our ordinance that are available online. They will automatically update them. Plus, we're gonna start, I don't know if we picked the time period part, but we'll update them. This will probably be the last time, at least, we know of that we're gonna do it every 5 years. We're gonna try to do it sooner.
I know in our previous discussions, Jason and myself, this has been a very long process. We started this last fall, almost a year ago. It's just very, very, very time consuming to go through the entire code book the way we did it. And we just feel that it's, we're in that day and age, we need to keep our website up to date on a regular basis. And just for the ease of codification, anytime the city council passes an ordinance, I think moving forward, we are going to just submit that new ordinance to Simmering Corey for an update. They will process it, and then get us our hard paper copies, which will then be distributed to all the personnel that have code books, which would be the council members, and of course, city staff and libraries and the other departments. And then it will be your responsibility or that department's responsibility to update your personal book by removing the old ordinance and inserting the new. It's just going to make it so much easier moving forward.
Be nice to just be able to rely on the website. That's key. It's key to me.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to establish August 17th, 2021 at 12 p.m. as the date and time for public hearing to adopt the updated Lamar's Code of Ordinances.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Motion made and second to establish August 17th, 2021 at 12 p.m. as a date and time for public hearing to adopt the updated Lamar's Code of Ordinances. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, this time, any other further business? Anybody?
Well, you got this other stuff.
I know. Okay. Jason, City Administrator, discussion.
A couple things. I'm sure you're all aware we're currently out advertising for wastewater superintendent. Those apps, just to remember, those apps are due 5 p.m. on July 28th. We have received a couple so far, so then I'm assuming the following week we'll probably sit as a committee to review them, and then we'll establish who and when we interview. Then the intent is to have somebody offer the position by the end of August. Well, before, sometime in August, for hopefully a start of September 1st. And Ron will still be here for the remainder of the year, so it'll be kind of a 3 or 4 month training kind of job shadowing for that person, yep. So, second, 2 other updates I want to give. I think it was last council meeting, the plywood 1A was awarded to Goberson Smith. We're still waiting on the fully executed contracts of that. But we do have stormwater permit, we do have Army Corps of Engineer approval, and we do have the DOT working right-of-way approval. So it's just a matter of whenever Goberson Smith starts the project. So update on that, update on back in June, council approved the